Podcast, where three of the OKS youth ministers talk about youth ministry. This is Michael Dees, and I am joined by Hunter Puckett and Jeremy Crow. And we're back.
And we're all back in one room.
All in one room.
We are here.
Hey, y'all did a great job last week. I'm not going to say when I listened to the podcast.
You did.
It might have been this morning on the way here. Like, y'all killed it.
Yeah, well, you know. Well,
I enjoyed it.
I feel like we were better as a duo.
We're not going to say that. We're not going to get into that. Listeners do not repeat that.
I'm just glad to be back.
Man.
So, I mean, that's all.
Can we just say what we're all thinking?
I'm glad summer's over.
We love our interns, and we're so glad that they've made it home safely.
Yeah.
Man, I loved my
that's the way we
interns
say
this
it.
summer. My interns killed it this summer.
My intern killed it.
In all seriousness, ours did. Like
Interns are the best.
I've been getting blown up with text messages from my teens telling me to rehire them.
I haven't.
In all seriousness, I don't have...
But they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, shout out Riley. In all seriousness, I don't have interns, but they did great if I did.
That's right. Yeah.
How did Chris, your intern Chris, do?
Oh, Chris did listen, all right, can I tell a quick story? So
Please.
we're in slow pitch softball. This is last Tuesday.
Yeah.
We're in the championship game. Chris Pressel's pitching. A ball gets hit back to him, breaks his arm, has to have surgery Friday,
Bruh.
shows up Sunday, preaches Sunday morning, both services, teaches Bible class, preaches Sunday night at Lift U, or does our keynote Sunday night at Lift U, wins pickleball out of the entire camp, wins
With a broken
pickleball
arm.
with a broken arm.
Which arm did you break?
His
Both of them.
non-dominant tennis arm.
Okay, I was impressed if he won with his.
Well, like he had to play I guess single-handedly. I don't know if you swap hands in
tossed the
pickleball.
ball?
Would you say that he won single-handedly?
Well, technically
Wow.
it was like a two-person team, but he had Rob,
He had one hand,
and
though.
Rob really carried. If Rob's listening, shout out to Rob. But if you're not listening, then Chris really carried.
If
but
you're
then
not
he also
listening,
won.
Rob, why not?
But then he also won. Well, he's a college minister, so
Oh, one of those.
yeah, one of those guys. But then he also won cornhole,
I
and he
don't
probably
doubt
would have
that.
won basketball if
I
they
don't
let him
doubt
play.
that.
That's crazy.
Okay, let me ask this: How did Lift You go?
Oh, it was awesome. We had the biggest attendance we've ever had. We had around 125 students there, and then we had around 30 adults, and that's like kitchen staff, all the workers,
That's
all the
awesome.
college ministers that showed up. We had a great week, and I loved it. And I've always tried to describe this week at camp because it's different. There's a lot of freedom. It's not a normal week at camp. It's only till Thursday. I mean, there are a lot of differences between week 0 and Lift You. And Jeff Goff described it the best way. And I want you to imagine your church camp. Listeners, if you don't go to Maywood, then still imagine your church camp. And he says that there's a box at camp. Like when you go to worship, it's the kids that are in the front that are taking notes, that are singing, they're paying attention. And he calls it the box. He said, it's the box of camp. He said, it's only those kids because you have to sacrifice to be at Lift You. You're taking off from your job. You're taking away from your family. You're like, you're there because you want to be there. There aren't as many of those kids that are sitting in the corners goofing off, not paying attention. Everyone is there for a reason. I mean, we'd have 100 kids at a storm shelter singing at 11 o'clock at night. And it was amazing.
We're all tied.
And they were there too. Tied for Christ showed up.
Yeah.
Well, Roll Tide indeed.
Roll Tide indeed. But no,
about
it was great. We had a really good turnout. All the guys did fantastic. So I really enjoyed it.
All right, Hunter, we talked about this last week. What's your favorite thing you did this summer and your least favorite thing you did this summer?
All right, one of them's a joke. My favorite thing I did this summer was cancel my lock-in and move it to another date.
Amen to that. Man, they pushed for a lock-in so hard at Coleman this summer.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I never gave in.
I've moved it. It's here in a couple weeks, but we are going to do it. I don't know. We went to Legacy for the first time.
Yeah.
At Faulkner, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I didn't take a big group, but the kids loved it. It was just a neat experience. I think what they enjoyed, because they're used to going to Rush. There are a lot of similarities between Legacy and Rush. One's at Freed, one's at Faulkner.
Yeah.
But we got to stay in the dorms at Faulkner. And that was a really cool experience for a lot of my kids because, they got to stay on a college campus.
Right.
They still slept on the blue mattresses, and it was very uncomfortable. But they got to stay in the college campus. So that was very unique.
Where did you say they stayed?
And I think a college campus.
It was like a Motel 6, actually. With like the doors open. I don't know. It wasn't Pharaoh. I know that, but it was a little different. So it was a very unique opportunity, but they really enjoyed that. Least favorite? I don't know. I try not to do things I don't enjoy during the summer.
While you're thinking about what your least favorite
Probably
is.
our fourth Monday service project.
That would definitely be the one.
Which one?
The fourth one.
The fourth one that we
The fourth
had.
one.
Yeah.
At Hartzell?
The one that Hartzell's.
It was good.
Yeah.
We really.
Let's see. We went at Coleman. We did the child haven stuff. We worked in the landscaping, helped with things there. Did the field day. Then we went to
Child Haven's killing it. They're fantastic. I love going over there.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And then we went to Decatur. We did the work day, Decatur work day, with Beltline, and then Flint hosted the thing here, the
Special needs groups.
Yeah, sure, it was awesome. And then Hartsel, we did. I feel like we muted our mics.
I wish we had a cricket sound.
Michael hates us right now so much.
So
He tried so hard, though.
Let me tell you.
He tried his best.
I planned it out, and then the day of that we were supposed to have it, the lady texted me and was like, "I just now saw this. Are you coming today?" And I was like, "Thank goodness I'm not." And then I said, "How about next Monday? How does that sound?" She said, "Yeah, it sounds great." So I tried to call all of the people that I knew to call, and I didn't just to make the announcement. I should have just made the announcement, but I wanted to make sure that everybody was going to be able to be there because I knew Jeremy wasn't going to be there, so that nobody was going to be able to go to that day. And then somebody else, Sam was out of town that week too, and so there was nobody that were going to go. And I was like, there's just no way this is going to work, so we're just going to have to just not do it. So we just didn't.
Was that your least favorite event of the summer?
It was my least favorite.
No, I mean, it's fine. And that's the thing, and people have to understand, things happen. All the time, especially in youth ministry, things happen. You have to be able to change.
Adaptable.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to cancel last minute.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had a least favorite thing. Yeah, I really don't. I just.
So I'll tell you this.
I mean, it's a busy summer, obviously, but it's not like there's just one thing that I didn't have fun with.
Canceling last minute stuff, like that was one of the things that I didn't want to happen, but we had somebody that canceled out right before our uplift trip. That just, we had our list, everything was organized, planned to go, and then they dropped out, which was fine. But I kind of wanted that to happen in a way because I wanted my interns to experience that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's frustrating, right? When you plan, you get things ready and you prepare things, you purchase tickets, you buy or make reservations, whatever, and then you have dropouts. And it happened again on our intern trip towards the end of the summer too. A couple of drop out, and it's okay. It's frustrating. So it's something, it's an experience in ministry that you kind of have to learn to deal with.
Well, and I'd love for the parents to understand what that means as well. Could you kind of mention a little bit of it? I want if we have parents that listen to this, I want you to understand that it's not just you allowing your kid to drop out of an event. Yep. We've already paid for this event.
Yep.
The church has already funded this event, whatever that looks like. We spent.
We may have rented a second vehicle to
just
have the
because
number of
we had
or
it.
whatever.
Yeah, and then they're like, because I used to do that. We'd have a ton of kids that want to go to exposure, and then like all of a sudden it's like, oh well, my family has this, and or basketball, or like. We pay for half of it.
Yeah.
So if I have, 5 kids drop out, I mean, that's over $100 per kid that the church is eating, plus what they're not paying.
Yep.
So I've started making people pay regardless if they drop out or not.
I've done that.
It's like, hey, if you sign up on this list, you owe half.
Yeah.
And or $50, whatever it is, to save your spot. And then if you drop out, you can either, one, find a replacement that will pay the rest of it, or 2, you still owe the $50.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's worked out well, but I mean, you're still eating a cost at the end of it.
How have parents received that?
They're fine with it. They get it.
They understand. Good.
Yeah, we hadn't had a big.
That may be
Now,
something
if it's a family thing where like a grandparent's in the hospital or something,
Sure.
obviously we make exceptions.
Make
But if it's just
I
grandma
don't.
pay.
I don't make.
I make grandma pay.
yeah, grandma better be.
No,
paying.
hey,
But if it's sports or like my kid's friend's not going, stuff like that, like obviously they're gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
So you said that, like, the reason I asked that is that's something I would like to see a change in our group. And so we eat the cost a lot of times when that kind of thing happens. So I'm thinking about, like, is that something that I could change, right? And so as I think about things that I might change, I often do that at this time of year. I don't know if you guys do that.
I've done in the past. I've done it to where I will not register you until I receive money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I tell them that I'm not going to
Yeah,
register you
that's
until I
not a
see
bad
money.
idea.
And that's what we're going to do.
Because you end up getting stuck with it, and it eats your youth budget up and all
Yeah.
that.
And especially for us, by exposure time, the budget's gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what are we supposed to pay to help,
Yeah.
supplement that? I mean, because it is an expensive event. I will
Yeah,
admit that. I
yeah.
mean, it's $275 per person. So if you have no budget and you're expecting, hey, $100 per kid or $150 per kid that the church is going to pay for,
Yeah.
then they back out and it's just eating even more.
Yep.
So it's just kind of understanding that too. And I'll get into something that you mentioned, when do you make those changes? I think this goes right into our episode that we're going to be discussing today as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that time of year where, I don't know about you guys, but for me, the new year in youth ministry is not January 1. It's usually like August 1.
Would you say that this is the time where you would make your school year's resolution?
School year's resolutions.
That was all me. I came up
I
with
know.
that just now.
Nice one. That's really good and almost like intuitive.
School year's resolution. It plays off of the New Year's resolution.
I think you could coin that term, and you would be famous for that.
I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to use that like in everything I do. The school year's resolution.
Yeah.
We'll have stickers at our next event.
I think next Wednesday, like whenever I have my teenagers by
Do it.
high school up in my class, I'm going to call it school year's resolution. We're going to go through and make school year's resolutions just because I came up with that idea just now.
Yeah. It was not influenced by
Well, I
anyone.
hate that for you. 'Cause I'm
anyone
going to
in
have my
this
youth
circle.
group tonight. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not
You
influenced
should.
by anyone in this circle.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
this is a
Triangle.
Totally your idea.
is what I
Moving on. No, but like this move from summer to fall, there's a moment where I don't know about y'all. I'm in this kind of relaxed moment, like let's rest just a second. Summer's over, chill out a minute. But we all know that there's so much coming in the fall, right?
Yeah.
And so we're kind of in this place of evaluation, of determining what's ahead, of planning. And so that's kind of what I think
I
would be good for us
usually-
to talk about at this time.
Yeah, I usually take 1 or 2 weeks after summer. I'll take 1 or 2 weeks where I'm not going out of my way to do anything. I'm going to teach my classes.
Sure.
And then as soon as that's over with, I'll do a summer recap for the church. And that's me. I'll get up and preach, and we'll just kind of talk about some of the stuff that the teenagers have done over the summer and some of the fun things that we did. And then I'll kind of apply all of that. And then after that, we'll do like a big, what Jeremy calls the youth ministry open house or youth group open house.
That's next Sunday for us.
And so we'll be doing that in a couple weeks. But I take a breath and just say, okay, let's reassess. I will go over all the events. I'll look at all the different stuff that I have, and then reassess and make sure that's what what we should have done, and if we need to make any changes. And then after that sometimes it's just a week, sometimes it's a week and a half. And after that little pause, we just go right back into it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think that's very needed too, because we're tired at the end of the summer, but I think the kids
Yeah.
are just as tired.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
plus, on top of that, they're getting back into school routine. They're getting back into school. We have a lot of kids that play sports or band or whatever that is, and they're getting back into practices. So I usually try it, like Michael said, take those first 2 weeks, not completely off. We'll still have our small events, obviously class, stuff like that. But then we kind of jump back into it. And like Jeremy said, we do a youth group dinner, and it's coming up Sunday night. After services, and that's when I bring up the new 6th graders and we introduce them. We have the 12th graders, they might say a couple things. It kind of go over the expectations of the youth group. I'll go over the big events, and something I'm adding this year is that dead week during the summer to try and get parents to maybe
I think
take
that's
their
a cool
vacations
idea.
during that
I
week.
do that.
I'll let y'all
done
know
that.
how that goes. If I get rocks thrown at me, it didn't go well. But if
Okay.
it
That's
might
what we
get
do.
taken.
That the
Looking
4th of
forward to
July
the
week.
update.
Yeah.
4th of July week. I always have. We don't do anything, and we'll do like I'll take them out to eat if they want to do that or something like that. But I'm not going to do like a big event.
But it's just,
thing.
and I think we've had it across the board, but we've had really poor numbers this summer all around. And so I'm looking at it as maybe this is a way to where parents can kind of align all these vacations together and we have a better attendance, or it's just a way for everybody to kind of breathe in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do July 4th. I think that's when sports does it as well.
Yep.
So I had a moment at the end of last summer where I took a step back, like you're saying, that evaluation, kind of reviewing what happened, what didn't happen. And I just realized, man, I was exhausted. My kids were exhausted. My family was exhausted. My youth group kids were exhausted. The parents were just frustrated because we did too much. And so, one of the things I would say, questions that we ask ourselves at the end of a summer is, hey, what do I not want to see us do like next summer? What do I want to nix? What's got to go? Is there anything that just was terrible and we're just not doing that again? And we had a couple of things like that last summer that we just kind of cut it off our schedule. And we said, there might have been one or two kids that got into it, but for the most part, it was a flop, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that I ask myself, and you might be doing that as well. Like, what do I not want to see again? The other thing we might talk about is like, hey, what happened that was good or bad that kind of caught us off guard? What was surprising to us? And then the third was, what do I wish I had put more time or effort into? What did I not do enough preparation on? And I was kind of frustrated with how it went because I didn't do my part well enough. Do you have any things like that you evaluated this or you're in the process of right now?
Yeah, I definitely do think so. I mentioned Legacy and the kids loving it, but we brought a very small group to Legacy. And if it's the same thing the next, and I'm giving it a one summer, break because it was the first time we've ever done it. It was kind of a not late last minute, but it was very late into getting everybody to go. But if we do bring another smaller group on that, I think that's when I look at it as I call it just the chopping block. Are we going to put it on the chopping block? See
Yes.
if it's worth the time, the effort, the money to do that, opposed to finding something else. Stuff along those lines. We try and go whitewater rafting every year. I love it personally. I've been going since I was in like 6th grade, and like I love it. But is it worth it? All the or a lot of the kids coming? We had a pretty good group this year, but like the year before that, we probably had twice the number. And next year we might have an even smaller number. So and I think that some things just kind of come and go in youth ministry.
Can I give you my unpopular opinion?
You don't like whitewater rafting?
I hate whitewater rafting so much.
You're missing out.
Are you kidding me?
It's
Okay,
so fun.
let me say it this way. I love it for the excitement and the joy that it brings. It's fun. It is. It really is fun.
But you're tired at the end of it.
Well, I'm tired. But the other thing I hate is I spend the whole time stressing that a kid is going to fall out and bust their head on a rock, or that a kid's going to drown, or a kid. Like I stay overwhelmingly stressed.
They wear helmets.
That thought has never, not even once in my. I've done 20 trips.
I've done a lot of whitewater rafting,
and not even once have I said,
I haven't thought that either.
"Oh no, a kid's
Like,
gonna
are
fall
we-
out and bust their head."
But are we in the
Never.
wrong for that?
Not
But
once.
but
Is
let me
Jeremy-
let me say,
No.
I think about it the entire time. Y'all know me. I'm not a stress out person, except for in whitewater rafting. I stay stressed the entire trip.
I'm
I'm the
hoping
guy
my kids stay
that
out.
when the guide says, "Hey, does somebody want to come out and jump on this rock and then jump back?" in the boat?
ride the bull?
I'll go. I go like
I'm riding the
this.
bull.
I go like this. Hey, I'll get up there and jump off the rock. I'll do it. I don't care.
so stupid.
I love it so much. My
So-
goal is if I don't fall out of the boat, I'm not doing it right.
Yeah. So 3 years ago,
Zero interest in
This
going.
was not in our group, obviously, but someone on the river that day died.
Yikes.
And we passed the boat. They had
And you're like, everybody jump off the road.
it wasn't that. They had two guides, like a learning guide and then the guide like teaching them.
Yeah.
So the teaching guide had to jump off and take that other boat because their guide was dealing with the situation, whatever incident, whatever you want to call it. So they had to keep it going.
So
But the
y'all
person's
watched the guy die.
fatality.
No, like it was
Okay.
We could barely see him. Like it was
Yeah.
like his leg on the other side of the rock. But it was a terrible
This turned
situation.
dark.
But like other than that, it's been a lot of fun. But this year we had a very boring raft guide. Like,
Jeremy will never do.
She did everything very basic, and then she told us to paddle forward, and we could see the rock. And we're like, if we could paddle forward, we're gonna hit the rock. She said, no, just paddle forward. We got stuck on the rock.
Very
So it was
nice.
it was a very boring
Well-
trip this year, but it's usually a lot of fun.
Now let me offer just a little caveat here. I went to Montgomery Whitewater that opened last year sometime. We went to that and we took our group last summer. Now I say that I hate it. I still take kids because they love it.
Oh, yeah.
But I hate it the whole time. But I had a lot better experience at Montgomery Whitewater than I ever have on the Ocoee. And I think the reason is when a kid fell in, they could climb over to the side and get out. Which, I mean, I guess you could do that at the Ocoee, but we'll never see you again. You're in the woods and you're dead. Okay. But this, you can get out and like walk
Those
back to
Texans
the
take
area
you
and jump
hostage.
back in somewhere safe. And so I did really enjoy Montgomery Whitewater, a future sponsor of the show, I would feel like.
I might have to check that out. Is it
They were awesome though. They,
Is
I
it
mean,
more-
really, really good
It
experience.
is not good.
It's not as good.
No.
What class rap?
It's not. It's not the same level of like.
You might as well just go a canoe trip down
the Buffalo.
No.
Buffalo.
Hey, listen.
No,
I
it
did
was.
that.
It was still fun.
Yeah, I've done it.
Did
too.
y'all do that at Freed?
We did. It was fine.
No, for my first summer at
fine.
Flint,
Do
I
you
did
like
that
the fear
instead
factor of it? Like you want to feel the fear of death?
Yeah, that's why you go bungee jumping.
That's why it's white water and not let's go on a canoe trip.
It's still white.
It's
Hey, let's
Smith Lake.
just go out in Smith Lake and ride around on a canoe. All right, so let's get back into what we were talking about. Whitewater rafting is fun. It's a lot of fun, and but we need to continue with the show before we spend 30 minutes talking about whitewater rafting. So let's talk about our school year's resolutions. That's right, trademarked Michael Deese school year's resolution. So Jeremy, let's hear it. What's your school year's resolution?
So one of the things that I try to evaluate towards the end of the summer and think about like which kids have kind of grown in certain ways during the summer or stepped up in certain ways that I didn't necessarily expect or see coming, but they've grown in some ways. So I might have like intentional school year resolutions for specific kids, right? There might be like things that I see that I want to challenge that kid to grow or to step into some type of leadership role that they haven't previously. And so that might be one of my school year's resolutions, trademark Michael Deese.
Yeah.
But then another might be for myself, like personal resolutions, like I'm going to spend, X amount of hours doing my class prep, or I'm going to spend, a certain amount of hours doing like notes of encouragement or whatever. For me, we make these resolutions at the New Year's, and a lot of times it's health related type things. I think that we evaluate, coming into August, the health of our ministry and what things are needing adaptation or needing change, and what could we do going into that. And y'all know that the reality of it is our calendar kind of works August to July. It doesn't go January to December, because it really does feel like the end of summer is like the finale. It's like, let's take a rest and let's start the new one in August.
Yeah. I do whenever we have that youth ministry open house thing, we go August to August.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and it's because I think it's also you're graduating kids, so you're losing some of your youth group, but then you're bringing in the new youth group or the new members of the youth group.
Do y'all promote at the end of May or the end of July?
We do it the first week of August.
Yeah, same
We
here,
promote.
yeah.
So technically it's when the quarter changes, so it'd be the end of August, but I've started doing it to where like we promote them before the quarter changes so they can start doing events before they get into the classes of the
So
youth
how
group.
do y'all, I'm curious, how do y'all do y'all sixth graders going into the summer? Do y'all let them come to youth
No.
group events or anything?
No, your
Not-
last
not
your,
till the end
your
of the
summer
summer.
between 5th and 6th grade, you're still in children's ministry, and then in August you move up into teen stuff.
So I do, like, if we go out to eat or if we go on a work day or something like that, then the sixth graders get to come during the summer, But then after that, though, like as soon, and then when they move up, they get to go on the retreats. And
Yeah,
they
they
all
get
that
everything.
Stuff. Yeah.
Let me make you guys feel old for just a second. We had a new 6th grader move up yesterday.
Yeah, Lincoln.
Lincoln Crow, my child.
Doesn't make me feel old.
That's weird to me.
You're old.
I'm getting used to it, but it's still, it's
So
new. It's
how
new.
can I ask you this? And this might be for another podcast, but how are you adapting to that?
I don't know. We'll ask me in November or December.
No.
Right. No, I think that
Come November, December, we'll have a podcast on
I
Jeremy.
am thinking
dealing with
about
this kid.
like things like, as dumb as this may sound, I don't want to work on my lessons at home, my class lessons at home, and like him see me working on it there. I want to work on it at the office so that he doesn't get to like, I don't know if that sounds silly.
Some insight.
Yeah, he
what's
doesn't get
going
to
on.
see it before class, I'm trying to think about like, how do I do event prep so that he still has that surprise somewhat that other kids also get, that I try to give him that same experience as though he's not my own kid in the house with me.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a new transition for me. So I have a school year's resolution of how I do things with our sixth graders. Part of that is I have a kid in that, and so just from being a parent perspective, I'm going to think a little bit more intentionally than I have in years past about how do I engage my sixth graders more in this first semester. And so maybe having perspective of a parent now would help me do that even better than I have in the past.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'll be honest, I'm terrible with that. The new sixth graders coming up, like the first big event. I mean, it's let's say
they don't even
let's
come
say
sometimes.
EYC. It's exposure. So it's like, all right, well, exposure's this week, or this whatever the week is. Go ahead and sign up. And it's like, oh, well, what is it? I'm like, oh, what do you mean you don't know what exposure is? We've been going for years. Like, oh no, they're in 6th grade. Like they have no idea what
Especially
this
if
event
they're
is.
the first kid, they don't have older siblings. Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's
what do you
what-
mean? Like it's one of the best things we do. Just sign up and just show up. It's not that hard.
That's what that youth group open house. The idea came from Jeremy, and I keep bringing it up because it has made such an impact. And I'm going to do a better job of that this year of making sure they've got all the information. But I give them a handout that has every single event that we do. That's already on the calendar, and talk about how we do it, how much it costs ish, because sometimes the prices change.
It changes.
And just go over all of that with all of the parents on that youth group open house. And if they have questions after that, then I'm like, you should have been, you have had an opportunity to be there. Here's what I have, and I'll just give them that, that sheet of paper or whatever with all that information. It's more than just one sheet. It's like a whole
I've found
booklet.
that it helps to give people on the front end, like if you know what the fall retreat's going to cost, if you know what Winterfest is going to cost, you know what EYC is going to cost, giving people as much heads up on that as you can.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
like I
I
said-
try to give them that, in August all the way through next May if I can, as much as I know already.
Like I said, that EYC is going to cost $275 what it cost last year. So you might want to plan to have $300.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna. And so that's the kind of stuff that I would.
I think it's going to stay the same this year.
Okay.
I
So
don't think it's going up.
but that's what I would tell them, because I don't know how all that works.
Yeah.
But
Well, a lot of that's like the month of, or
yeah.
not EYC. We try and do that a lot earlier, but like some of these events are like the month of.
I mean,
or,
Rush.
or for
Rush
like
just released
Yeah.
their stuff like 2 days ago.
Or we plan to do Airbnbs. It might be that we're bringing some more people, so we need to get another Airbnb. So then it's a whole different cost as well.
So let me tell you what I think about when I think about August transitional stuff though. One of the things that I think people are already attuned to is their kids are starting a new schedule, they're starting a new routine, they're going to a new grade, they've got a new teacher or whatever, they're starting all the new things. They are expecting new adaptations and new changes to their schedule, to their structure. And so if you've got things that you want to change in your ministry, like, we've been using Remind for 2 years, but we're going to try to group me this fall.
Remind doesn't work anymore.
August is the time to do that, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because people are already on board with change. They expect it. They're looking towards it. They know it's coming. And so if you want to do changes and adaptations to things like your communication strategies, I think August is a great time to do that.
Or changes to times of events. I've talked a lot on this podcast about we do a Monday night together every single Monday. And right now is the time that if I'm going to change the time, this is when I want to do it. This is when a lot of my kids are in sports. This is the time where a lot of them are dealing with school. A lot of the news that are happening right now, a lot of news for the parents as well.
Yeah.
So if I'm wanting an event and I want to push it back 30 minutes, this is when I could see if it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
And whether I need to adjust it even more or whether 30 minutes is enough, things along those lines. This is time for you to make your school year's resolution on just being better with communication to your parents. Because a lot of these new 6th graders, some of them are first time. Not all the new 6th graders are the youth minister's kid.
Yes.
So it's going to require a lot more communication on their end of, hey, here's what's expected. Here's what's going on. Here are all of our big events. These are the things that I see as very beneficial. And here's some stats to follow up with it. Here's the proof that a youth ministry works. And it helps the parent. We are not the sole minister of the family. We are the supplement to what the parents are doing at home. Right. But sadly, a lot of parents are doing nothing. So if they can make their kid buy into this youth group for the next 7 years, they're going to grow spiritually. But it's up to the parent, and it's up to you communicating with them, having that relationship, making sure that y'all are on the same page, things along those lines.
That's going to be my school year's resolution. I want to be a little bit better of a communicator.
Sure.
I have this really cool ability to plan things out and have it all on my computer and never give that information to anyone.
Super helpful.
I'm very good at that. And like these plans are like beyond the best, I'm going all out but I never communicate that stuff. And by never, I mean like I communicate it. It just is like the week before or 2 weeks before or something. And I need to do better about communicating. So that's my school year's resolution is I want to be better at communicating. And so I am making progress today. As soon as we finish this up and y'all leave, that's where I'm going. I'm automatically going to start planning out how to make these announcements, how to get information out as quickly as possible. So,
let me say this. I think that we go through the gauntlet of summer, and you're just trying to survive, trying to make it through to the end, and we've made it, right? But what happens sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but for me is I make it through the end, and I get to August, I'm like, oh man, I hadn't planned anything for the fall yet.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to survive summer, and the reality is, that trip to Rush at Freed will be here before you know it. The retreat in October will be here before you know it. Those things that your group does in November, like it's coming, right? And we sometimes we get so busy in the summer we fail to make the preparations for the fall that we need to make. And I would say that August is the time that you need to nail all that down and make sure it's good and set in stone, and you communicate that out. Fall will absolutely sneak up on us and kind of catch us off guard if we aren't ready for it.
Well, and there are a lot of things that fall within the fall calendar that do require some preparation.
Yeah.
We mentioned the retreats. Of course, retreats require preparation, but also some of these smaller events that we do. Rush, even if it's going to a haunted house at Halloween, there's some preparation that comes with that, and there's some planning ahead. There are some things that we can get away with that we don't really plan out, that are just hey, we're going to go do this today, and it can work. But then there's some things that you're going to have to schedule ahead of time. You're going to have to know how many people are going. You're going to have to know the cost. You're going to have to know something else along those lines. Plus, just all the other things that you have that fall within that calendar. We start for our area. We do our area-wide retreats, and I think all of us have messaged on our group message on, hey, what's our plan for that? So we're finally sitting down this Wednesday to discuss that.
So hey,
like
by the way,
that's like the last thing I have to do for my fall calendar to get it out, and like I'm just waiting on Wednesday.
We're gonna do this live. Where are we going for our fall retreat? Are we going to Maywood?
Maywood Christian Camp.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I understood.
I want to do it
I
somewhere
might be
else.
wrong, but I doubt
I
it.
think that's right. But anyways, my spring retreat is at Maywood, and I already have that all planned out and reserved and everything. So we're going to do like Maywood, and then we're going to do Maywood, and then we're going to go to Maywood.
Yeah, Maywood all around.
So,
and not only that, we have our family retreat, and it's at Maywood. So in the same month, I'm going to be going to Maywood for 2 weekends, and I'll also that same month be going to Western Kentucky Youth Camp for the Wonderfully Made weekend.
Yeah, Hey,
it's gonna be a busy month
for that, by the way.
Hey, listen, if you have anyone in your youth group with special needs, we have a camp at Western Kentucky Youth Camp, and we call it the Wonderfully Made Weekend, and it's just a weekend camp. It's fantastic. We have a buddy system. Actually, sadly, for those that have not signed up, and this is the first time this has really ever happened for us, we are completely full this year, and we are pumped about it. But if you have a youth group or you maybe a college group, we're trying to really stick to college age or older. If you have a college group or anyone that might be interested with helping out with that week or that weekend, it is October 10th through the 12th at Western Kentucky Youth Camp. You can contact me. You can go to our Facebook page, Wonderfully Made. I think it's just Wonderfully Made Weekend Facebook page, or the Wonderfully Made Foundation. You can go to any one of those and you can volunteer to help. We always need more helpers for this event, but for this year we are booked up for campers.
So let me take us back for just a second. We've got we talked kind of a little bit about open house kind of stuff. Some kind of back to school kickoff, like whether it's a parent night, with a meal like you talked about, or a meeting. We do ours on Sunday morning during the Sunday morning Bible class time. This next Sunday. But what other kind of things are you like putting on your fall calendar? One of the things that we typically do is don't do it every year, but we do it some years where we say, hey, we're going to tailgate at Fairview High School in this game. We're going to tailgate at West Point High School in this game. We're going to be at Coleman High School in this game as a youth group. Do you ever try to do any of those kind of things where you like do a youth group tailgate party? Have you ever done that?
I've never done that.
I haven't. That's a really cool idea.
And kind of bouncing around to the different ones where you have kids in the schools.
Yeah.
Some of those have gone really well. Some of those have been very poorly attended and been like, I felt like it was a waste of time. And so
like you grill there and like bring your cornhole boards and stuff.
Yeah, we set up a tent. We've got a tent with church logo, like a banner hanging on it, and we put out a table. And we usually give out like bottles of water. Mm-hmm. I typically shy away from doing food, and the reason is because the local schools concession stands also selling food. And I feel like it kind of does a bad job of making a good name for our church because it's like we're subverting what they're trying to do to raise money for the school. And so I've avoided doing that. We've done bottles of water, that kind of thing before, but we usually we've done ones where we did like a prayer station where we set up and said, hey, let us pray with you. We had maybe 2 people the whole night come by and pray, but it's kind of a cool thing to show that our youth group is doing something in this community. But really just hanging out, playing games, having cornhole, rope, what is it called? Rope ladder or whatever, ladder ball, whatever it's called. Having those kind of things set up, kids come out and they're throwing the football, hanging out. Sometimes that goes really, really well, and you get engagement from your kids' friends. And a big part of that is kind of what Michael said, communication of, we've got this idea planned, but making sure it's put out there and your group knows about it and the families know about it and their friends, they're telling their friends about it. It can turn out really cool, and I don't even, sometimes if I do that, I don't even go to the game. I just hang out, party with the kids before the game, and then I go home, right? Clean up and go home.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we do. What other kind of things do y'all maybe put in your fall calendar that aren't the big trips?
We have a lot of service projects, and I say a lot, and they're all squeezed between like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
Because we'll do that. We'll invite Project Rescue over to our building, and we'll have a Thanksgiving dinner with all the guys at Project Rescue. We'll have our Christmas gift wrapping. We'll go Christmas caroling. We have all these other things. We do a wonderfully made Christmas where we invite all the kids with special needs in the Decatur area to our church, and Santa Claus shows up. We have cookies and we Christmas carol with them and things on those lines. So we do a lot of service project stuff, but for me, I'd like to see myself even kind of broaden that to where it's not just Thanksgiving time to Christmas time, but it kind of fits more the entire calendar. But kind of what we've been saying, the entire calendar is very busy, even in the fall.
I really like doing. I'm a big proponent of in-home devotionals.
Yeah.
Having people at your house, and
especially
I've already
in the fall, man. Have a fire. I love that.
I've already had 2 people approach me wanting to do that,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, we want to host the kids. We want to have it at our house." And so I've given them some dates. They've gotten back with me. We've already got that in the plans. And so I like to do those because, again, I'm wanting to connect our kids with as many adults in our church as possible. And so I am, if we go over to Mr. Donnie's house and we spend the evening there singing and they grill out for us or whatever, the kids are going to get to know the Greens, and that's going to be cool. So same
Donnie's
thing with,
awesome.
Yeah, he is.
What a guy.
Awesome.
And Songbird too, man.
Oh, yeah. He led Singing Sunday, and it was awesome.
And let me say this. I may be weird in this. In my brain, there's not a winter calendar in youth ministry. There's the fall calendar, the spring calendar, the summer. In my brain, it goes with the semester of school.
That's right.
Fall calendar lasts until December. Spring calendar starts in January.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't really match with the actual month.
That's how it works for me. That's
But
how I look at
That's
it.
how we do it.
We
3
do
calendars a year.
we do some specific events around holidays. We do like service things around Thanksgiving. We do a progressive dinner thing at Christmas time. In October we do like Hunter said, we might go to like a haunted house or something like that. Miller's Thrillers has been a fun thing we've done a couple of times. But just I really like to try to every now and then throw in a Saturday football game. It's hard to get people in Alabama, by the way, to give up their family time watching the game to do a church thing watching the game.
Yeah.
But like getting people together and grilling out and watching, I'll pick an obscure game that nobody cares about, like, Alabama's playing, Mississippi State instead of Auburn.
Alabama fans are
LSU,
very, very passionate about
you know what
any
I mean.
game they play.
Like you don't try to plan an event on the Alabama Tennessee game. That's not going to happen. Or Alabama Georgia. Nobody's going to show up. They're doing their own thing. They've got a plan already. But trying to plan, around something like that, or Auburn, Vanderbilt or whatever. Of course, Vanderbilt did beat Alabama last year, but it's beside the point. But it just trying to come up with those kind of little things, one day things or one evening events for your group during the fall.
Yeah, I think that's a great, even, just doing little game nights. Hunter even talked about how he's doing a lock-in this fall.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
I'm not excited about it, but man, dude, the kids love it.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you like a lock-in? That's you're staying up all night. Like the next day is ruined.
I mean,
for
honestly,
you.
when I was their age, I loved to lock in too.
Oh, I did too, but now it's like it's miserable.
Listen, I've never been a fan of the lock-in. Not even when I was a kid. I hated it. But also I'm trying to get together a group of guys to go bow fishing.
Hey,
and doing that.
just let me know early enough. I want to go this time.
Yeah,
I keep backing out.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
Let me know. I really want to go, but I keep backing out.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get one by the end of the year or not, because it kind of ends.
Wait till it cools
September.
down a little bit.
Well, it ends in September because the water starts
that's
getting
true.
too shallow or whatever, or too deep, and you can't really see anything. But at any rate, make sure that you're communicating. That's one of my big things. And then something that I think that I wanted to talk about just a little bit before we close out is your Bible class curriculum, giving everybody an idea of what you're going to be doing in the fall, the spring, and the summer, and like kind of following that up with what you're doing and communicating that with the parents. Have y'all ever done that before? Is that something?
Yeah, so the open house, I put out what the curriculum is, and I
that's
give
what
them.
I do too.
I give them like, this is what, because we're using we're using Gospel Project curriculum, and it's, I can tell you right now what the next 3 years scope and sequence of lessons are, and so I put it on there. And what I really found was a great opportunity there. I don't know about you guys if you have a hard time getting teachers to help volunteer or whatever, but I gave the scope and sequence of the next 3 years, showed them what was coming, and I at the open house passed out a sign-up sheet and said, hey, fall classes are covered, but I need winter quarter, spring quarter, summer quarter. Here's the class availabilities. Here's what the lessons are. Who would be interested, right? And I filled up the entire year of teachers at that one meeting, which was awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah. But making sure they do that. And I will also just tell the parents, hey, this is what we're studying. And then the parent can then say, hey, so what chapter are y'all on? I know what happens, and they can have that conversation and everything. So you have anything else you want to talk about before we close out?
I think that's great, man. I think what you just said about if you're going to make a curriculum change, August is a good time to do it.
Oh yeah.
When
If you're making
I've created my
a
own
big
curriculum, and so we're following it, but it's just kind of relapse every time.
Yeah.
So I'll hand it out every single year. I've been giving them the big picture of the next 7 years of what their kid's going to go through, but then each year is kind of a recap of like, hey, this is what's coming up for this year.
Yeah.
So they can kind of plan for that. The goal is that, like you said, the parents will ask some questions. Hey, how's this class going? What are you learning? That's always the goal. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the parents at least know what their kids are studying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Well,
Hey, fall is going to be here quick. Make sure you're planned for it.
yeah, definitely. And also, I want to know what your school year's resolutions are. So leave us a comment. You can even, post on our
Trademark
social
Michael
media. Yeah, sorry, trademark Michael D's. Leave it on your social media pages. Leave it on, tag us in the things that you're doing to let us know what your school year's resolution is, because we're curious. We want to know some, because we might make that our school year's resolution. Comment on the episode, like and subscribe, smash that, what is it?
Like button.
Like button.
I
or
don't know.
Follow button.
Follow button.
What do all the YouTubers say?
And I want to shout out one of our number one listeners that I found out.
Wait. Can I shout out somebody?
Yes.
I want to give a huge shout out. We've given multiple shout outs to him, but I have realized I have not given him a shout out personally. Coleman McQuiston. What a guy.
He is a
just
good guy.
what a guy.
Yeah,
One
he's
of our
Coleman.
best
Coleman
listeners.
He's the
Just
man.
an amazing guy.
Sorry that we skipped a couple weeks, Coleman. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Coleman. That's on us.
I have found out that there is a grouping of adults who used to have kids in youth ministry at Beltline who listen to our podcast. And I'm going to shout out maybe the leader of the pack, Linda Wallace.
Hey, how about that?
Ronnie's mother-in-law is listens to every episode, and
That's
pulled me
awesome.
aside yesterday after worship and was talking about it, and kind of caught me off guard. It was kind of awesome. So
That is cool.
it's very cool.
Well,
And the guy that asked you if you listened to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Lift
Shout
You,
out to him.
A guy asked Hunter if he listens to this podcast.
and
Yeah, he
Hunter's-
was very excited. He listened to this youth ministry podcast. I was like, "Oh, cool! What's the name of it?" He's like, "The OK's Youth Ministry Podcast." I said, "Yeah, I've listened to a couple episodes. It's pretty good."
So you didn't tell him?
No.
You didn't
awesome.
tell him.
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
I mean, if he listens to this, I'm like, "Oh, that was him."
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Shout
That's
out to
great.
that guy though. That was awesome.
Don't know who he was, but that was so cool.
Well, we really appreciate you guys. Thank you all for listening. I hope that we're continuing to help you, and I hope that your ministry is blessed.
Bless.
Thanks for joining us today in the important conversation of youth ministry. Go and follow us on Instagram and check out oksyouthministry.com for more information about our upcoming episodes. We'll be dropping a new episode every Wednesday morning, and we look forward to talking with you again next week. And hey, it's okay to be the OKS Youth Minister around, but let's all strive to be just a little bit better.